looks like it's working, so without further ado, gonna go ahead and get this started. Just a little bit of background before I get going. So this was the 4th round, 3rd day of King of Free-For-All 2. What this essentially is a free-for-all tournament that has a different format than the usual free-for-all league that we run does. It features 2 12-person games, an 8-person game, and a 6-player game. So games you wouldn't ordinarily see, and everybody can play as much or as little as they want. The top 4 at the end of the season will make the finals. So this is the last game of the regular round, and then the finals will be either next weekend or the weekend after. This was also my game, so I'm going to try and add a little more insight into this when there are a few dull moments, but there shouldn't be many, and without further ado, let's get started. So I spawned at the 6 o'clock position. I am Night Elf. One over from me, we have an orc named GatoGato. Up going clockwise from him, we have PwNu.Ente, or Quest, I believe his name on BNet is. He spawned as undead. Above him, we have DkH, No One Can Save You, also Brainman, who is a FML ladder winner. Above him, we have LordofPit, who is a relatively new to FML free-for-all player, but has been very active, so we're happy to see him. He's playing Night Elf in this, although I believe he usually plays undead. Up towards the 11:30 position, we have a orc named darokox. I know absolutely nothing about him. At 12 o'clock, we have Zelt, a human, who I don't know much about, but played a pretty good game here. One over from him, we have Imbalanced Hero. Actually, he may be Quest. I can't remember who's who, but he's pretty decent. So we've got a Night Elf from him. And then around the 2:30-ish position, we have Ashalar, a King of Free-For-All finalist from the first round, which was a few years ago. One below him, we have Ente, or Sexy Saint, an upcoming free-for-all player who's much better known for solo. Below him, we have Hurry, an orange undead, who I know nothing about, but he is trapped between 2 very good solo players, the last of whom is Chainer. So looking around, everybody is pretty much going for a fairly standard build. I opened with a Tree of Life actually first because this is a free expo. Looking around, you can see other people are just kind of scouting, figuring out what's going on. I have a very late Altar of Elders here, which could lead to bad creeping, but we'll see. LordofPit looks like he may be, I guess he's just scouting as well. So looking around, I don't think we have anything exceptional going on. DkH, No One Can Save You. Brainman is opening for the typical Archmage. We've got Death Knight over here, a late hero from GatoGato, a late hero from myself as well. We have typical Dreadlord first actually for Chainer, which is kind of an interesting move, especially on a map with so few creeps as this. We do have a nice opening militia creep from Zelt over here. With how few creeps are on the map, that's very important. I'm just going to turn the fog off for a moment so you guys can see. It looks like there are a lot, but each of these dark red is a spawn point, so there really aren't very many creeps on the map. We've got a Blade Master from Ashalar and a Dark Ranger from Imbalanced Hero. We have an Alchemist first from GatoGato, so kind of the 9 type play, or however you pronounce his name. A very good FML orc player who opens up with an Alchemist and then goes for BM Torn, I believe, or maybe it's Torn Shadow Hunter, although it's some odd combination. Chainer is opening with Ghouls and the Dreadlord, so an interesting play there, especially with the few creeps as I mentioned earlier. Ente is going for the more typical Fiend Death Knight open, which I believe serves him pretty well on this map because he had some pretty good levels. We see Zelt is about to put up his expansion, so he'll be the second one to get it up. My expansion is currently up and going quickly. Interestingly enough, PwNu.Ente has gone ahead and put some blight down near Purple's mine, which is an interesting decision, indicates he may be trying to take that away early. If he does that, then he'll have 2 free expansions. Some harassing on GatoGato here, which is very vulnerable with Headhunters first. They're great for creeping, but they are very squishy, especially to something like Fiends, where the Death Knight can just heal them up very quickly. Looking around, LordofPit got Dark Ranger first, so we have 3 Night Elves, I believe, with Dark Ranger. Not uncommon, especially on a map like this, where you may want to use the skeletons to rush your neighbor out. It does look like Zelt is getting his expansion up now, and I expect we'll be seeing some other expansions going up soon. We've got a little bit of a skirmish between Hurry and Chainer here. Hurry going ahead and taking his expansion. Chainer may have been trying to steal it from him. Looking back over here, we've got BMMba is indeed trying to take away GatoGato's expansion. It'll be interesting to see what his reaction to this is, since he's not in a great position to defend it currently. Hurry is making sure to camp his spot and keep it. I'm about to hit level 2 after this creep camp with my Dark Ranger, so nothing exceptional there, but I do have my mine up already. Ente is putting his mine up, Hurry's putting his up, Imba is putting his up. So it looks like really the only one to not have their mine going up by now is Pink. So Imbalance Hero and GatoGato both do not have theirs going up. Pink looked like he was trying to get his up, however Zelt is going ahead and just getting some harassing in on him. Does a nice job of hiding that and both of them getting it away. Looking over, Chainer is going to continue to harass Hurry. Does a nice job with this Death Knight surround. Will he TP out? And down goes the Death Knight. Chainer picks up level 2 early on, and this could be a very critical early fight. If Hurry can't get this up, then Chainer's going to be in a good position all game to go ahead and take advantage of the undead mirror match, which especially in a small, close spawn map like this really is going to favor the solo player. The Dreadlord is also going to make it very easy to get those surrounds and exceptionally easy to have the ghoul mirror fight go in his favor. Looking around the map, doesn't look like there's a whole lot else going on besides some early creeping. BMMba has gotten the expansion up at Gato's place. However, the Alchemist is level 3, so that could help a little bit going on. Ente is going to go ahead and attack this gate. He's going to get first dibs on all these creeps, which will be very important because this is the only real red camp on the map. Going around and looking at some text, it looks like GatoGato's already got tier 2. I'm about to hit tier 2. BMMba is still at tier 1. We're moving on to tier 3 for Brainman, tier 2 for Pit, tier 1 still for darokox, so that's going to be a major problem most likely, especially because this expo is not even up yet. You don't want to see that, and it looks like LordofPit is going to go ahead and put some early pressure on him. He's gotten the creeps out, so he's probably trying to knock him out here. If he can hit the orc burrows, then that's going to be a very good chance of managing to kill him completely, especially because he being darokox doesn't really seem to know what's going on right now. This grunt is going down. Pit is doing a nice job of microing this around, so this is definitely going in Pit's favor. He's going to hit level 3 after that grunt goes down, which is... ooh, it gets away, actually. I'm looking around, so I've got a level 2, and I picked a Naga second because I was very worried about anybody hitting me here, and it's not a great free-for-all hero, but honestly, I didn't expect to be alive for very long. I've not done a very good job of playing recently, so I'm pretty out of shape. Ente has already got level 4, and quickly picking off more and more of the creeps. He's got one of them already, moving on to the second one, and he is being very careful to avoid the middle for now. Imbalance here is going to go ahead and hit Zelt. Not a very good place to fight, however, with all the towers, and the Panda is losing mana very quickly due to the arcane towers. The dark minions, in addition, don't do a whole lot here. Ente creepjacks me here, does a nice job of just taking out 3 of my archers, and I don't even manage to grab that creep for the end, and I waste a TP. Pit, it looks like, is continuing to apply some pressure over here to green. Looking around, we do have Brainman putting up some typical human buildings, nothing special yet. We've got some fighting going on between GatoGato and BMMba. Imba does have this expansion here, however, he does not have his own expansion, his Death Knight is still level 1, so he's really... it almost seems like he has an advantage, but he does not here. Especially with the towers and catapults going up, GatoGato is doing a nice job of just meticulously taking back his expansion, although it is hurting him that he is not getting any extra gold right now. But in the long run, he probably is going to be able to take down BMMba here, due to the fact that the hero levels are just going to be way in GatoGato's favor. Ente is level 4 still. Brainman is going to go ahead and grab this creep, hit level 4 after that. Chainer is actually in the middle of Hurry's base, kind of just doing some harassing. He has managed to pick up level 4 on the Dreadlord through a bit of an unconventional means, but beggars can't be choosers and all that. Looks like he's been taking down that Death Knight pretty quickly and pretty often since it's reviving yet again. Here it's coming back out, and as you can see, Hurry just does not have very much gold or wood. The ghoul harassing is really hurting him, and that Dreadlord is managing to keep itself alive very well. Very close. TP's out, but not quite going to get the Death Knight. Very close, though. Over here, GatoGato doing a nice job of taking down BM.Empe's stuff. Death Knight does go down very quickly. The Fiends are easy prey now, and he only has 2 towers here. He's got an extra tower going up. Has a Demolisher as well, so BM.Empe not in good shape right now, and really probably not exactly what he wanted to work out. I actually went for some Hippo Riders here because when an Orc is next to me, if I have extra archers, I find it's pretty easy to go ahead and just quickly turn into Hippo Riders for taking one person out, and then I can get rid of the archers later on while keeping my hippos themselves. It works out very well in this case, better than I should have had it work out, purely because of the fact that Gato could not expand and was already busy with somebody else. So I'd like to take credit for this being a genius stroke. It's more I blindly lucked into it. Looking over here, it does look like we still have our red camp up, so that's the most important creep camp and has not yet gotten down. It does not look like anybody else is in terribly bad shape, although Hurry certainly could be in worse shape than, or could be in better shape than he is currently, and probably like to be. Ente is quickly massing up some Fiends. He is doing a good job of actually staying below 50 this time, though, something he's had problems with before. Over here, I did get a Scroll of Roar, which is very nice. I don't do a very good job of keeping my Hippo Riders alive here, but it turns out not to matter a whole lot, and it's very easy to go ahead and take the Orc down here, and I lose enough food that I can comfortably stay under 50 building whatever I want to, get a nice hero shot there, and end up being in very good position to go ahead and finish the Orc off here. I do only have level 3 hero, but what can you do in this position? This also gave Brown some time to build back in, although he still is not in very good position hero-wise. We've got some minor fights going on here. Ashalar has gone for some Wyverns. He's already broken 50. He only has a level 2 Blade Master, though, so he's not in very good position creeping-wise versus Ente, especially because Ente actually has web already. So Ente is going to go ahead and just pick these off 1, 2, 3, and unfortunately for Ashalar, good strategy, wrong person. You never want to fight an undead with Wyverns early on, especially an undead like Ente, who is known for just going Fiends. Ashalar pretty much just losing everything right now. He's got a good amount of gold, however, he did not manage to kill a single unit and lost all of his Wyverns. Ente going ahead and just moving right along to his next opponent here, taking out Green. Green does have this Green Drake Dragon, which is pretty nice for him. Ente does not manage to... Ente is managing to keep this hero alive, though. It does have this potion of greater healing on it, and I'm not sure why he's being chased down quite so much, as he's able to quickly pick off most of these units. BM is going to have enough to windwalk away, gets away with a single Demolisher, but that can't be what he had in mind, and this is going to leave Ente open to creep the middle if he wants to. He does already have a level 5 Death Knight and a level 2 Lich. So we've got Brainman over here is quickly taking out Brown, who never got a chance to really make a whole lot of units. He spent a lot of time defending the expo that wasn't his. Kind of a lesson that greed doesn't really pay off, although it can. So he took a risk, it's not paying off in his case, and he's going to end up paying for it pretty severely. Chainer is doing a nice job of killing Hurry again. Actually, give me one moment, please. I'm having a minor technical difficulty. I'm going to pause the game. This is not a glitch. I will be back in one moment. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. So Chainer does not have a Death Knight currently, which is a little bit of a handicap for him. Usually Undead really wants that Death Knight second if they've gone Dreadlord first. While the nuking power is very helpful, it's also very hard to keep your heroes alive. Maybe he figured he was fighting an Undead and it wouldn't really matter. But you can see both of his heroes are getting a little bit close to dying here. Zelt is doing a nice job of hitting pretty much anybody and everybody that's getting in his way. Ashalar is still at level 2-1, so that's really not ideal. Zelt, meanwhile, is at 3-1-1, but does have human heroes with a heal and a nuke, or a heal and a stun, so that's pretty helpful. He's also trying to take over Pink's expansion. Pink does have some chimeras out. It'll be interesting to see how well he uses them, and that Dark Ranger is going to go down very quickly. Down goes. Nice job with the Holy Light there. For some reason, the chimeras are doing we're focusing on the towers and nothing else. Imbalanced hero not doing a very good job of playing against this human right now, and Ashalar is going to come in and try and poach whatever experience he can. Down here, GatoGato is pretty much out of it. I've managed to go ahead and put up my second expansion here in the main. Brainman doing a very nice job of staffing away that knight, gets himself out of trouble. Is going to break 50 here, goes back down, smart move. Death Knight does not have a scroll of teleportation on it, looking very weak right now, although it does have a bunch of health on it. And, oof, down goes that Spellbreaker. So, prolonged fight within an undead base when you only have a limited amount of food running around, not the world's greatest idea. He wants that Death Knight. I'm not sure if he's going to manage to get it with all the slow towers going on. Getting a little bit greedy here, should probably go ahead and get out, or at least focus down the Fiends instead of the Death Knights, which does look like he's going to go ahead and do now. And that Death Knight does have enough to coil, but will not manage to get it off in time. TP's out, so Brown lives for a little while longer at least. Just going around the map, it does look like Pitt is doing a decent job of killing off the green orc. However, he's not in the greatest position right now. So far, Ente is really the powerhouse. He's creeping this middle. He's got level 5, level 3, and will presumably pick up his next hero soon. He's managed to get the Screen Dragon. However, that has forced him to break over 50, so he's going to be looking to go ahead and break very quickly on somebody. Let's see what items he got. So he got an Ankh of Reincarnation. He's got Flute of Accuracy and plus 15 total in the claws. Ashalar is scouting this, should have a good idea that Ente is pretty strong right now and really in the driver's seat so early. We do have Pink is going to go ahead and, interestingly, TP out of here. This is why it's so important to have a staff as elf. You really want to go ahead and make sure that you can staff that Chimera away, but maybe he hasn't. Actually, he does have shop, so there's really no excuse for not having a staff there to do that. Zelt is going to go ahead and attack Imbalanced Hero, knock this down, and then presumably try and completely eliminate him so he can take over the second expansion. Sitting at 54 food, though, something you never want to be doing, especially on a limited gold map like this. Just going to quickly go through the gold count. So we've got Brainman, who is going to go to 80. He's got 2,000. Chainer is at 66, about 1,000. Zelt's at 2,070. Darokox is at 60, so another person that's not doing a great gold management job. Ashalar does have 6,000, not even 50, so he could be in good position late game. Nice little fight going on here. See, the mistake that most Night Elf players make, including me, is trying to focus down one of these human heroes early on without really having the ability to kill it. Does manage to get this paladin. Ooh, does not get the paladin. Nice staff out there. Looks like the Hawks are doing a decent amount of damage, but not taking anything down permanently. Bear's coming back. That's going to go down very quickly. Unfortunate, poor move on him. Did not take it out of control group. Really need to go ahead and staff this Panda out of the way now, and Panda is going to go down. Yep. So bad fight from Balanced Hero. Just really only 1,000 gold left, 36 food, and 31 food now. He is not in good position at all. Ente going ahead and running train on Ashalar right now. I'm thinking that Ashalar is completely unprepared for this. He is going to be pumping bats, but it's not going to be enough to help him, I don't believe. With all the Fiends, Ente should be able to do a nice job of just microing the bats down and quickly focusing them down. Ashalar is going to try and force the focus somewhere else, however, level 2 Blade Master just not going to be able to do very much. Going back down here, Hurry is in a little bit of trouble here, and by a little bit I mean completely in trouble. I come in here trying to go ahead and snipe a kill. However, I quickly find out that Chainer's doing a lot better than I thought he was, and he doesn't need help at all. I'm going to carelessly lose some units here. Should have TP'd out earlier, but I didn't. What can you do? Believe I lose 2 chims. This is going to be... Nope, just lost 1. So Chainer's got level 5, level 3, picks up the Panda for level 2. So interesting choice, not a very good choice in my opinion. Does give some good AoE damage, however, he really needs that Death Knight to keep everything alive. I'm sitting at 10,000 gold right now, so I'm feeling pretty confident that I've got a good amount of gold. Ente at 5,000, he is at 75 though. Pit's at 1,500 with 36. Imbalanced Hero is at 500 with 26 food, so he's pretty much done. GatoGato is out of the game. Let's see. Hurry is at 24 food, 300 gold, he's out of the game. PwNu.Ente is completely getting decimated by Brainman. I haven't looked over here in a while, my bad. But he's gone ahead and managed to lose pretty much everything. I do believe that at this point, let's see, we've got level 543 for Brainman. He's in very good position to go ahead and take everything over. PwNu.Ente is going to try and rebuild, but I don't believe it's going to be successful. Brainman does have 2 expansions up and running, so despite the fact that he's over 50 food, he'll be quickly gaining gold. Looking up here a little bit, it does look like darokox has managed to knock down a teal expansion. So green is sitting at 1,280, whereas Pit is sitting at 700 but 57 food. So he is not in good position right now, and he's gone for a pretty atypical Night Elf army in that it's going kind of a solo build versus Orc, which is playing out alright now because of the fact that they're so low in food, but late game that's not what you want, and it's really going to hurt you. darokox doing a terrible job of microing here. He's got his catapults blocking everything off, however it doesn't look like it's going to matter because of the huge differential. Let's see if we can get a silence off on that Blade Master. Does get the silence off, but a nice heal, finally moves stuff out of the way. And Pit is going to go down very quickly. Bam, bam. There goes the Panda. And that's got to be GG for him. Going around the map again, we've got PwNu.Ente. He is out of the game. So Brainman is actually losing a little bit of gold here, taking on PwNu.Ente's base. There's a good amount of towers here, however, for a human army it shouldn't be a big problem, especially a human army that has all these... Theoretically should have all the staffs. He does only have 1 right now, so that's a bit of a mistake. Going back over here, we've got my first true fight with Chainer. I am now pumping hippos. I was sitting at 50. I had a nice little bank going on. However, Chainer decided to take advantage of that. I let my expo go down, didn't fight for it. I am outgolding Chainer about 5-1, so that's going to be very advantageous, and he has way too many frost worms in his army. As an undead, you want to have probably 1 at most when fighting an elf, because the fact you need hippos all the time, especially when I've got 2 good AoE plus a silence. So I'm going into this fight with a pretty big advantage and should be able to take it. I can't really remember what actually happens in here, but it does look like I'm getting ready to go ahead and siege it. Imbalanced Hero doing a nice job of moving towards this roost. Same with Ashalar. They both want this next big dragon that comes out. Zelt is pretty much just finishing up on Pink here. He's completely eliminated all that stuff. I'm not sure why it's not moving from the minimap, but he's pretty much done. So as you can see, we have... Where'd my army go? Oh, I TP'd over here. Brainman decided to hit me. This was a terrible TP from me. I really shouldn't have bothered going in here at all. I had 1 chim, and I get super lucky. I got my Dark Range out of there with 5 hit points, but I did lose my Naga. Could have been a lot worse, but just a brain-headed move on my part. Going around the gold count quickly, I'm at 10,000. Ente's at 6,000. Pink is at 1,000, but he's out of the game. Ashalar is at 3,500. darokox is at 800. Zelt is at 1,500. Chainer's at 600, and Brainman's at 4,000. So currently the strong positions would probably be myself, Chainer if he can beat me. He does have good expansions going up. Brainman and Ente. Another careless mistake on my part. I left a Chimera there, and it quickly went down. So at this point, we've got Brainman is just kind of running around gathering more and more expansions. As you can see, he's in very good position. Green has gone ahead and taken out whoever teal was, LordofPit, very quickly. And yeah, this comment is, it's observers on defeat. Why does pink have the moon well in the middle? So it's pretty much down to a 7-way game right now, 8-way game, but that's going to move very quickly. Pink is about to get knocked out, and we have Ente is in here just completely dominating Ashalar. That Death Knight is looking very, very low. It could go down very quickly. Does manage to get a nice heal off on it. Saves that, so just really nice micro here from Ente. Goes ahead and knows when he should get out. He does have a less than ideal army composition for most fights. He has a lot of fiends and no gargoyles, but it doesn't appear to have hurt him so far. Brainman is at 543, I believe, putting up another expansion over here, and I am at 431 actually. Chainer is at 5-3. He's got to be 5-4-3, I believe. 5-3-3 actually. So Brainman's doing a good job of staying in the lead. Currently, he's up to 5,000 gold. I'm at 8,000. Ente is at 6,000. He actually does have the best heroes with 654, 652. And he does have 2 expansions up. However, he is fighting Orc while the human is fighting a very weak undead at this point. So Ente is going to go ahead and try and take Ashalar out here. Ashalar does have very weak heroes, and it shouldn't be too much of a problem, especially with the combinations here. I mean, Ashalar is being very much hard countered by Ente. I'm not sure if it's on purpose or not, but Ente is doing a fantastic job of getting Ashalar exactly where he wants him and basically just feeding off of him. The Wyverns are going to go down instantaneously, get some nice levels on the Dreadlord, and then the Destroyers are going to go ahead and take away all of the positive buffs that Ashalar would like to have right now. So Ashalar is down to 64 food, does lose the Torn Chieftain, Shadow Hunter is very low, and I'm on darokox, that's why. So Ashalar leaves the game. Ashalar is done. Looking over here, Brainman is going to go ahead and fight darokox. darokox is momentarily going to leave the game, I presume. I do not believe he sticks around. Yep, there we go. Alright, and then we have my fight versus Chainer over here. Chainer goes very heavy on non-Garg units this time, and really that's what hurts him this time. I did not out-micro him per se, I just had more free-for-all experience with this stuff. I'm going to end up getting some very good levels off of this, mostly because he doesn't have the Death Knight and he doesn't have the gargoyles to fight off my hippos. I do a terrible job of just leaving my hippos floating around here. As you can see, I believe, yep, that panda's going to go ahead and instantaneously wipe out half my army. That was a very poor choice on my part. So I lose all but 3 hippos, and I managed to give Chainer level 6. Definitely not one of my better moves. Looking at the chat here, you can see that I'm picking up this expansion, and Brainman's going to go ahead and have this wood. So one of those times when we actually see people cooperating in free-for-all. So going around the map here, I've got 7,500 gold and level 442 heroes. Ente has 653, 7,000 gold, so he's in a very good position right now. Pink is pretty much completely out of the game. I believe, yeah, he has 1 Moonwell in the middle, so we're going to stop talking about him. Zelt in solid position here, hero-wise, however, he is lacking on economy. He's towered up his expansions very heavily, which costs a significant amount of gold in a game like this where you have 12 people and the gold mines go very quickly. He's got level 6, level 5, and level 3, and he is going to hit high upkeep here, which is something you don't want to do unless absolutely necessary or you've mined everything. Chainer has 1,000, he's getting that lich back, but he does have 2 expansions. He's tapped his main, and he'll pretty quickly hit 80. Hopefully he doesn't go over it, but I'm not entirely sure he doesn't. And then we have Brainman, the other clear favorite here. So Brainman and Ente are the 2 strongest. Brainman has 8,000 gold, has 3 expansions, and 543 heroes. You can see that I'm currently just kind of fighting around here with 4,500. I quickly boost. I'm not sure why I went to 86. Okay, I think I'm dropping back down to 80. I didn't want to go over 80 in this fight, and I was pretty sure I could take Chainer without doing it. Chainer doing a nice job of scouting my hit here. I hadn't realized that he did that. That does explain why he was so prepared when I come in, though. Looking around, Zelt is going to go ahead and finish off what's left of green, gain some extra score. I have managed to grab a green dragon here, which is one of my favorite units ever, I think. It really makes killing tanks a lot easier, as you'll see later in the game. I do a nice job of getting myself into position here, and mostly just having more hippos than he has gargoyles. Not a whole lot of skill in the fight for me, but if you're elf, you don't need it all the time, or much of the time, unless you're fighting somebody really competent in free-for-all. This allows me to quickly take down his expansion, and I'm getting some more chimeras to help siege down his base. I figured he was around 1,000, 2,000 gold right now. He is below 1,000, so I'm in very good shape for this fight. Just looking around, I don't see a whole lot going on. Brainman is going to pick up another expansion here. So he is at 10,000 gold and climbing quickly. He is fighting with Zelt in a mirror match here. He does have a little bit of a hero disadvantage. Zelt actually gained more levels than him, which is somewhat surprising, but down goes that Mountain King. Oof, that really hurts if you are in Zelt's shoes. You don't want to lose your stun, especially in a mirror matchup that's so identical to this. Brainman is below 50 as well, quickly banking. Zelt is below 50, does have some more gold now. He's going to focus down this Archmage. Do not believe he's going to get it. Lots of water elementals going on here. Going back down to my fight. I'm fighting around with Chainer here. Chainer is quickly losing his gargoyles. Hopefully I staff. Yep, there we go. Down goes the Dreadlord. This is going to get me the very important level. So I've got 553. That's level 3 Silence, level 3 Fork of Lightning. You can never have too much AoE here. Chainer saying GG, but I don't believe that our fight is completely over yet. I do believe I'm going to go ahead and have to get my shit out of here. Panda does a nice job of TPing out. That Infernal is scary as hell. So, Chainer not completely out of it, but he is low on gold at this point and doesn't have his heroes. Going back up here, we have Zelt, who is at 2,500. He is sitting at 57 food, something you never really like to see. And then we have Brainman sitting at 11,000. Looking around, I don't see Ente doing a whole lot. He's just kind of sitting at 80, does have 10,000, has level 6, 5, 3, very close to 6 and 4 on the Lich and Dreadlord respectively. I'm not sure if he should have dropped down here. Probably not, but it is an interesting thought when you don't have anything going on. You could be getting a lot more gold if you're sitting at 50. I do believe that, yep, I dropped down to 50 as well. At this point, I'm a little bit cocky, but I do feel that my last fight went very well, and I should be able to take out Chainer without having to go to 80 again. Zelt is sitting at 61 now. It does look like Brainman is going to try and get as much experience as he can while just fighting with his heroes and not losing anything. When you have human heroes, that's a very easy thing to do. And he does a nice job of sending tanks around to kill buildings as well while he's running around. And interestingly enough, if you look around, one of the big problems that most of the humans seem to be having on this map is a lack of wood. You can see that Brainman and Zelt are both just going around the map trying to pick up some wood. One of the very nice things being Night Elf is that I don't have to worry about that. However, it did seem to be a pretty big theme and problem within this map. So just going around, Brainman's got 12,000, Chainer's got 250, Zelt has 1,000, I have 6,000, Ente has 10,000. So Brainman and Ente doing a nice job of being in the lead here. Ente does only have one expansion running currently. He has managed to drain the other one. Chainer has 2 expansions. I have 1 expansion, and Brainman still has 3? Yep, 3 expansions. Let's see, I'm going to try and get some of these buildings to go away. There we go from observer's perspective and see what happens here. Alright, so I come in here with pretty much basic 50 food army. I think Chainer is a lot more dead than he is. I don't realize he has any of these guards. However, I do feel pretty confident that I can take him whatever comes. I've got 5-5-4. I'm looking to pick up 6, 5-5 at least. 6 on the Naga would be nice, but not essential. I'm also going to try and go ahead and take this mine, since I really want to be mining at least 2 mines at this point, and I just discovered Chainer has this. Probably some pretty bad scouting on my part. Should have discovered that a little bit earlier, but not a whole lot to do. And in come the gargoyles. Here's my reaction of, oh shit, he has a lot more air than I thought he did. I'm going to go ahead and back off here. I believe I start pumping some hippos soon. Probably not soon enough, since I'm sure me being me, I lose a lot of units. Ente doing a nice job of scouting around, seeing what's going on. He's still sitting at... where is Ente? Ente actually on the run, going ahead and trying to hit Zelt or Brainman at this point. I am now pumping up to 60. I quickly get out of there, realizing that this is kind of a hopeless situation for myself. Do lose a few units, but don't lose too many. Ente doing a nice job of quickly identifying his biggest threat. Goes in and tries to take out some of Brainman's expos. And Brainman is still at 12,000. He is fighting Zelt at the same time, but he is a human. He does have the ability to mass TP everywhere and fight off both at the same time. He's probably not used to facing this army combination from Ente, though. I mean, as I said earlier, most free-for-all players go a mixture of 1 or 2 destroyers, a frostworm, and a bunch of gargoyles. Apparently I'm pronouncing Ente wrong, but whatever. Sorry, Ente. You're being pronounced Ente instead of however you want to be pronounced. Incoming big fight for Zelt and Ente. Does not look like Ente was completely prepared for this. He does have a fairly nice counter to Zelt's army, though. He is fighting at 71 food versus 76 food. Pretty even fight. This Death Knight is going down. Fortunately, as the Ankh of Reincarnation. We've got the Dreadlord is at level 4. It could go down very quickly, though, if this Death Knight does not come back quickly enough. Does manage to get off. Save on the Lich. Nice play. Zelt is down to 68, Ente is still at 71, so despite everything that's happening here, don't lose a whole lot. Down goes that Dreadlord. Very nice play from Zelt here. He does not lose any of his heroes, does lose some of his army, but does manage to take down the Dreadlord, which gives pretty big experience for him. He is almost level 6 in the Mountain King, and that is very deadly to an undead if they continue to fight. So looking around at this point, Ente does not know... Zelt is not aware of how many expansions Brainman has, I don't believe. Ente is aware that Brainman has a ton of expansions, doesn't quite know what's going on with me. I'm aware that Brainman has a decent amount of expansions. I figure he's probably got around 8,000 gold right now. I do not know his true extent. I think Ente actually has a lot less gold. And Brainman just doing a nice job of getting farms and stuff all over the map here. And protecting everything and trying to get that dragon, because the dragons really are key in this. Zelt is quickly forced to TP out of here. And Brainman gonna go ahead and just push down on Zelt. At this point, let's see, where is Ente? So Ente's just kind of chilling here. I am about to go ahead and try and finish off Chainer for the 18th time. Oh, nope. Apparently I already finished off Chainer. It was not very climactic. I went and hit him with a bunch of hippos, and everything went down easily from there. At this point, as you can see from my chat, I hadn't really expected to be alive this long, and boy did I not like Naga anymore. Really, I would have loved to have an Alchemist, a Death Hunter, or Demon Hunter, or even a Keeper of the Grove at this point. Really just not a good choice of the Naga. Maybe it helped me early on, however, it comes back to bite me in the ass late game. Alright, I'm actually going to go ahead and take a quick pause. My throat's kind of sore. Grab a drink. I'll be back in 2 minutes, and then we're going to pick up the speed to 2 times on the replay and ensure that we get this game going a little quicker. So I'll be back in 1 moment. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about the pause, but we'll go ahead and pick this up here. So just going around with a quick summary, we've got Ente is about to go up to 100 food. He's got 10,000 gold. I've got 6,000 gold sitting at 50. I have 1 mine, and I believe I'm going to try and pick up the second one, or at least I will soon. I do believe I have a tree around here somewhere. There we go. Tree will eventually move over here and get the third expo up. Zelt is mining 2 mines in decent position, but he is about to get destroyed by Brainman, I believe. Only 1,500 gold, and Brainman in the driver's seat right now, 15,000 gold, and the best hero levels, or at least the best heroes in my opinion. We're going to go ahead and pick it up here, and let's go. Brainman going ahead and, oof, loses that paladin very quickly there. Apparently I talked a little bit too much about him and his strength here. Tower's doing a nice job of weakening, especially this arcane, and Brainman is just very slowed down. He does not have any dispel going on. Mountain King does not have enough mana currently to use its ultimate. Brainman is at 67 food, so he has dropped some. However, Zelt is still dropping more. Zelt does have all 3 of his heroes though, and Zelt also does not have enough mana to get his ultimate off on the Death Knights. This is kind of a slow battle. TP out by Brainman, so Brainman goes ahead and gets out clearly. Currently just sitting around for myself. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. Alright, so looking from my perspective here, I am currently just waiting for dragons to pop out. I'd like to get my second one. Scouting around, seeing what's going on. Ente is doing a pretty nice job of looking around the map and figuring out what's going on. He is just kind of sitting here, though. I'm not entirely sure if he's talking to his girlfriend. I know at one point he said she was getting mad at him, so this may be the point where that's happening. Brainman is doing a nice job, knows he's in control, getting a bunch of towers up in his base here, healing up and getting ready to fight Zelt. Zelt incoming, and Zelt really just pushing to stay alive. If he can take out Brainman somehow, then he'll be in good shape. However, he probably doesn't know that Brainman has 15 times the gold he has right now. So the next portion of the game is pretty much Zelt versus Brainman. Ente and myself are kind of running around the map trying to figure out what to do and what to get. At this point I'm trying to prevent Brainman from picking up another dragon and killing off most of this stuff here. We do have Zelt here is trying to get up another expansion. He is currently at 67 food, but dropping very quickly, and that Archmage is just running around, had this nice job of using the invisibility on it. It's a very nice move there, and something that's pretty hard to pull off in the heat of battle. Paladin does go invulnerable. We've got the Mountain King 6, Archmage is running around. That's the weakest point in his army right now. Brainman is trying to take advantage of it. Brainman in a very similar position here. Does not have the ultimate off, and down goes Zelt's Archmage here. So that was a nice job of taking down the only hero he could. Zelt is not completely out of this yet, but he is going to lose that expansion. Brainman is going to be able to push him whenever he wants to, and really, I don't see a whole lot of way for Zelt to get back in this game unless Ente and myself team Brainman down so much that he's able to. But we are going to get, we've already gotten level 6 on Brainman's Paladin, so we've got 766 on his heroes. Clearly the best right now. Ente has 764, and I have 664. So, not a huge advantage, but you never want human heroes to have an advantage over you if you're a race that's not human. The exception maybe being Orc. Brainman is at 81 food, which is kind of a weird mistake for him. There we go. He's going to drop down very quickly. He does a nice job of managing everything. Zelt is at 50. It's possible he's currently being picked off by Ente as well, so really just tough luck on his part, although he's probably just trying to hide stuff around the map, so I don't feel terribly bad for him. At some point we did have Pink's last Moonwell was killed off, so we are officially in a 4-way, soon to be a 3-way. Down here I'm currently going ahead and just finishing off some of the dead bases here. The Panda is almost level 5, so I'm going to try and get level 5 out of Chainer's old stuff. And then I'm going to move over to Hurry's old stuff to finish that off too. The reason I'm going ahead and killing all these buildings despite it being irrelevant is to build up my score. Part of the way that King of Free-For-All works is based off of the scores when you finish. First place in this got 30 points, second and third got 15 I believe, possibly fourth as well. 5th through 7th or 8th got 10, and then 5, and then 1. This is one of those things where it's completely useless, but I'm just sitting around at 50 not doing anything, so killing off the buildings gets me a little bit of extra points in the game and could help me get more points in the overall standings. Going back up here, Brainman does look like he's about to try and finish off Zelt, sitting at 10,000 with 766 or 776. Zelt is not in a good position to defend. He has 50 food. He does have good heroes. 665. He'd probably like to see the Paladin have level 6, but he really doesn't have anything that can counter Brainman's army, and I suspect this will be the last fight for Zelt unless Zelt just runs and hides a bit. And down goes the... Nope, good save on the Archmage, but it's looking very low right now, and all it's going to take is one more. TP's out of there. So staying alive bit by bit, but clearly just not in the best position, or not in a good position at all. So looking around, also interesting, we've got 1 dragon for Brainman. I believe Ente does not have a dragon. He does have 100 food, so he's done a nice job. Now that he's completely drained his mind, he went ahead and went up to 100. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to sit at 80 if you aren't mining, especially as undead. A little bit of manipulation on our points here. We both want to make it seem like we're fighting even if we're not, because we want Brainmen to think that we have less gold than we do. We're all around the same amount of gold right now. I have not produced 100 army though, so I'm going to be a little bit lower than both of them once I actually go up. I'm getting ready to fight now. I do have 665. Did finally manage to get level 5 on the Panda from the extra buildings and units over here. And I have 1 dragon as well. Here comes what looks like it'll be the last fight, and nice kill on the Paladin there. Well played by Zelt. Zelt does not have very much food, fighting very, very weak here. However, he's certainly taking it down to the last and played a very nice game. I do keep saying past tense. I know he loses at some point to Brainman. I'm just not entirely sure when it is, and I keep thinking it's going to be his last moments now. But he's doing a much better job than I would be. But down goes the Archmage. Paladin is currently invulnerable, however, it's not going to last that much longer, and you can expect a quick Storm Bolt to take care of it afterwards. And Paladin's invulnerability is down. There goes the focus, there goes the Storm Bolt, down it goes. Mountain King's the only one left. It is in avatar form, but so interestingly enough, Brainman goes ahead and TP's out, but Zelt does say good game, and he is out of here. So I'm at 50 with 10,000 gold. I have an expansion I've drained. I've got another one running. Ente is at 100 with no expansions. Does have 8,000 gold, and Brainman is sitting at 9,000 gold with 80 food. Just looking around to see what we can see as different people. So Brainman doing a nice job of scouting around, figuring out what's going on right now. He does have the arcane towers, which really help out a lot. Looks like my main here is doing a little yoga or something. He's also done a nice job of keeping farms around the middle area and trying to pick up dragons. He's also got 5,000 wood, so he's probably set in that regard. Ente still doing some scouting with his wisp, figuring out what's going on. He has seen that I was putting up the expo, so he knows that I am getting my third expo now. He also knows that Brainman has a lot of expansions going on as well. I probably did the worst job scouting out of everybody. I haven't scouted since Ente drained both of these expos, so poor performance on my part in that regard, and it comes back to bite me a little bit later because I don't realize that both of them have as much gold as they do. I do bring both of my mains in here though, which I believe is a very nice move, especially if I'm worried about tanks. Then it makes it very, not easy, but it makes it much easier to defend against. Alright, we're going to go back, turn the fog off, and see what we can see. We're going to go ahead and pick it up to 4 times speed, because I believe it's a little bit dull for the next few moments. So just kind of going through my thought process when I'm in the game right now, I believe that Brainman is the strongest. I'm not all that worried about... I'll slow it down a little if you guys want to read the chat, but I'm not that worried about Ente. I think he has less gold than he actually does, and I'd much rather fight an undead as elf than a human. And I find it much easier to kill undead heroes with silence. Down goes that. Nice save there. So Brainman and Ente are going to go ahead and get into a fight here. And it looks like Ente is caught off guard a little bit. The avatar form is helping out a ton with this damage. Dreadlord is looking very low and is taking all the responsibility from the DK for healing it. Ente is at 97 food, though not losing many, if any, units. Brainman is quickly dropping, so despite the fact that it looks like Brainman is doing a very nice job in this fight, he is actually losing a lot here. He does have that dragon, which I love, and that Dreadlord, does survive barely, so very nice fight here from Ente. He drops Brainman from 80 to 55, while he only loses 5 units himself, or 5 food himself. At this point, I've drained all my mines. I'm going up to 100. I'm going to go ahead and attack Brainman because I'm still pretty convinced that he's the strongest. And I also am terrified of mass tanks and mass teleportation. They're 2 of my least favorite things ever. Get to see some tornado action here. You probably don't see that in, well, Warcraft very much. But in comes Brainman pretty soon, I believe. Let's see here. Where is Brainman? So Brainman going along, and yep, here we go. So I decided to go ahead and fight him here, and turns out a little bit in my favor. I got him to TP away. He is massively under food compared to me, though. He's 50 down, so if I didn't lose that, that'd be pretty embarrassing. And just a little bit of friendly banter here, mostly me whining and bitching about human. Ente's pretty much in agreement with me. Nobody likes human. If you play human, you should just be ashamed of yourself. And this is partially me just wanting to grab a few extra levels if I can, but mostly I don't want Brainman to have buildings all around the map. I know that in a base race, if he can hide, he's going to easily defeat me. So I'm making sure to kind of early on clear out a lot of his stuff so that later in the game he can't take me down very easily. Brainman is quickly going up to 80 here. TP's in. I try and use Tornado. Doesn't do a whole lot. Brainman losing some food. Slow it down a little bit for you. My big problem here is I have a ton of anti-air that's doing absolutely nothing. So Brainman loses 10, but I lose 17. And Brainman also able to use his ultimate to get it back. Ente just kind of chilling over here. Not doing a whole lot. They do keep mentioning that I have 2 of these green dragons. They are incredibly helpful and really the best weapon against tanks that I have. Ente doing a nice job of scouting me here. So I'm at 8,000 gold, Ente is at 6,000 gold, and Brainman's at 9,000. Honestly, at this point, I think I'm ahead quite a bit. I was pretty sure Brainman had about 5 and Ente had 3. So, miscalculation on my part, not something you want to do. I'm also not doing a great job of scouting Ente right now. I should probably do a better job of that. Brainman just kind of going along with it. He is going to try and pick up another dragon. I don't want that. I'm going to go ahead and knock him off here, and I believe I'm going to go ahead and pick up my 3rd dragon momentarily. Also want to take down his farms in here. Really, the less buildings human have, the better it is for everybody, except for that human. Mass teleportation and tanks are just such a dangerous combination. That does send me back 800 gold, though. I'm quickly losing some health here. And in this fight, really just another poor job on my part. I do get out of there. I don't lose any units. However, I am wasting a lot of teleportations, and I'm quickly burning through my gold that I shouldn't be. Looking around, Ente is going to start picking off some of Brainman's units as well. Ente obviously fears the human just as much as I do, and probably rightly so at this point. Brainman is in a very strong position, and he's also a very good player. Ente correctly is guessing that he has a lot more gold than we do. While he doesn't have a lot more, he certainly does have more, and I was actually thinking at this point that he had less gold than us, or at least less gold than I did. Incoming fight here. I really wish I could have taken this one. It would have been a very good fight for me, but don't manage it. I do have 3 green dragons, though, which really helps me out quite a bit. And at this point, Brainman is getting a little bit double teamed. We're both trying to go ahead and take down whatever we can, or we were. Ente is now actually sitting, so this is just me versus Brainman. Does not go very well for me. I lose all my hippos. I'm down to 70 food. Brainman loses about 20 food, I believe. I think he was at 90 going in. So, despite what he's saying, it was a pretty good fight for both of us, but we are burning through gold very quickly, me more so than him, and I don't even realize it. I think I'm in a lot better position than I really am right now, so that's a poor play on my part. I really need to learn not to go all in like that, and I believe pretty soon I'll start hitting with less units to take him out. Ente is currently still just kind of chilling. Not a whole lot more going on there. So, kind of my thought process at this point was I could just pick away at Brainman, and I'd probably get Ente on my side. It's much more likely that we would team a human than I would get teamed, and I didn't feel the need to team Ente. I thought that if we teamed Ente, I would lose to Brainman almost a second after Ente died. Excuse me. So this is kind of some manipulation, trying to figure out what's going on. I'm at 66, Brainman is at 70, Ente's at 95. We're all just trying to get a feel for what everybody else is doing and trying to be the ones that don't get hit. So this is kind of the midpoint. Even in a 12-way, we managed to get down to a somewhat stale 3-way. Brainman looking for some more dragons. Does a nice job of re-expanding his farms in the area. And Ente is on the move. He's moved up 3 feet. Brainman going to go ahead and hit Ente. I believe Brainman probably figures that Ente is a bigger threat to him. He does have much deadlier heroes than mine. I have better army fighting heroes. However, in Hero Arena late game, Brainman would rather take me on than take Ente on. So, and he's focusing more on Ente, and you'll see as throughout the game goes on, Brainman really does find Ente to be a bigger threat than me. Probably correctly so. I was probably the weakest of the 3 in the game. And I'm certainly the weakest micro-wise as well, so. Looking around, 4,000 gold for me, 6,000 for Ente, 5,000 for Brainman. I thought Brainman was about 2, and I really underestimated Ente. Ente was doing a nice job, and here Brainman is going to get 2v1'd a little bit. Another time where I really let a lot of hippos die very quickly, very easily, for no reason at all. I do manage to save most of my units, though, and this to go ahead and fight Ente again. And this is a hard army for Brainman to fight. All these fiends really make it difficult, and he has to TP out, though, because he's in a choke here. So a nice job by Brainman of defending this, but we've got me at 62 food, Brainman at 45, and Ente came in here at 95 and left at 95. So Ente didn't lose anything in that fight. Really a nice job by him, and he's still at 6,000 gold, so he is in great position at this point. I believe I'm in great position, but I'm really not. I'm in the weakest position, and Brainman, who I think is the biggest threat, probably is, but it's a very close call between he and Ente. Brainman never really got to take a fair fight, just 1v1 against Ente, so it's hard to know how they would have fared in that case. However, he certainly didn't fare well against Ente when I had been hitting him as well. At this point, I'm just trying to sneak in and get a few units here. It goes back to a little tit for tat, and everybody just trying to figure out who's the strongest, what's going on. Ente's on the other side of the map. I believe he comes over to hit Brainman again soon. And at this point, Brainman believes that Ente is trying to suicide him. Can't believe he's doing it. Ente is convinced that Brainman has massive amounts of gold. I'm convinced that the strongest player at this point, ooh, nice save, is Brainman. I'm terrified of humans, and both players think I'm pretty much not a threat. So all in all, it's kind of a typical three-way right now. I do have the advantage of both of them are willing to team with me. They don't want me to team against them, so that's pretty helpful if you are the weak one in a three-way. Another fight incoming here for Ente. Ente has lost a little bit of food finally, but still in very good shape to go ahead and fight Brainman. He does have level 5 on the Dreadlord still, though. He really needs to get level 6 on it for Infernal. That would help him out a lot. Nice Death and Decay on the towers and castle, though. And Brainman is actually in pretty significant trouble here. I do not help him out. I come in and try and pick more stuff off, gain some more experience here. I do get level 6 on my Panda. Very helpful. However, I can't keep up with those heroes, and really I'm chasing a little bit more than I should. Very close to losing a hero. Got very lucky that I didn't. And Ente is pretty much getting his AMS back up and ready to go again. Lost a little bit of food, but he is still pretty dominant. And at this point, it's really looking like Brainman is in very bad position. And I hadn't realized how bad a position he was in. If you look from my point of view like we are now, I just see his base is pretty much intact. I don't realize that he has been completely taken down by Ente, or pretty much completely taken down. So here comes another Death and Decay. Very, very nice. Goes ahead and gets a bunch more towers, very close to getting the last ones. Castle is being repaired, though, which is probably the most important part of this. I come in here and try and pick off some more towers. If you're human, towers are super helpful. However, they can get you teamed very easily. I believe Brainman only has about 40 food at this point. I do not see the hidden army up here. He is hiding probably about half of his army at this point, and Paladin just barely Panda just barely squeaks out of there. And Naga Sea Witch goes down. Careless move on my part. TP out of there, but damage is done. I only have 3,000 gold. I do not have very much right now. Ente is at 6,000 gold. Good position here. Another Death and Decay is really going to hurt Brainman. And Brainman is at 74 food. TPing over here. Going to try and go ahead and get into blue space. At this point, I think that Brainman is actually going in full suicide mode, and pretty much going to go ahead and just take out Ente. So I've decided to just stay the hell away from everything. As you can see, I'm down here. I'm reviving my Naga Sea Witch. Ente is doing an excellent job of going ahead and beating Brainman in the fights. However, Brainman does have mass TP and a much harder base to kill. So it's kind of a question of macro versus micro right now. Ente does have a gold advantage, actually, which I find surprising, and I believe Ente thinks that Brainman has probably a lot more gold than he does. He wants Brainman to go for 100 food army, which he actually does have, but I think Ente believes Brainman has around 2,000 or 3,000, maybe 4,000 gold at this point. I actually think Brainman has about 2,000. I do not know he has that much food, that high a food army, though. I think he's a lot weaker than he actually is. So it does look like Ente's going to go ahead and try and come in here. I believe I sit this one out for a little while. I'm kind of indecisive on what to do. I want them to kill each other off. I believe that Ente actually doesn't have a whole lot of clue what's going on. He did a much better job than I thought he did. And I think Brainman is going to go ahead and suicide him. They'll take each other out, and I'll be given a free win. That may or may not work out here. So kind of just a little tic-tac-toe here, trying to keep him out. Lich is going in, trying to draw them out. And here we go, nice little fight. So quickly gets out of there. Ente does lose some units. Brainman quickly going to go over here and go for Ente's base and try and go for the throat. If he can take out the undead base, then that's going to go a long way towards helping him pull off an easy win here. However, at this point, I realize what's going on. I decide that Brainman is a bigger threat and go for his main. Brainman is going to have to TP back in here. I'm only using part of my army. I believe I lose my panda here. Yep, panda goes down, and Naga does escape, but just barely. Not a good fight on my part. I should not have gotten that cocky. I should have TP'd out earlier. I'm also burning through my remaining gold just with the TPs, which is never a good strategy. So I'm down to 1,700 gold. I believe I've started reviving, and 70 food. Doing a decent job of picking off some units. Ente is still at 4,000, and he is at a full 100 food army and going around and kicking off the last of Brainman's units and stuff. Not units, buildings. So Brainman is quickly losing a lot of his buildings, and that's going to take away a large part of the human advantage. I mean, human thrives when it can mass TP around here, and Brainman either did not do a good job of and at this point I retardedly go in to steal a unit. I bring my Dark Ranger. I had an anti-magic shield potion on it. I forgot to use it. Didn't quite get it on there, but it was a really dumb move. Embarrassing. Probably good it's not on the live stream. Lich goes down very quickly here. Going to slow back down a little bit. Not quite that slow, but so this is the first real fight that they've had. We've got the Lich down 7. Dreadlord's probably going to hit 6. Brainman here is getting his first really good fight against Ente. Ente does manage to save the Dreadlord just barely. He is in close position here, though. Dreadlord has hit 6, and Ente really, first fight he truly loses here. It's not a terrible loss. However, these human heroes are just getting higher and higher. That's never something you really want to see. And he does have one dragon there, and I believe he has a second dragon somewhere, although I'm not positive. Maybe he lost it earlier. I do have 3 dragons. That's pretty much the basis of my army, is my dragons and my heroes. I'm at 75 food. I have 1,000 gold, so I'm pretty much the furthest behind on that. Ente is reviving his Lich, getting some more Banshees, and going for the strong AMS army. Brainman quietly just wrapping up some of his buildings. Ente is convincing me that Brainman's the biggest threat. Didn't really need any convincing. I'm always down to Team Human. They almost always are the biggest threat. Brainman correctly predicting that Ente has gold here. In comes that Infernal Drop, very nicely placed on the tanks. And Ente does a nice job of nuking stuff down here, not losing much. Brainman is losing, let's see that. Oof, nice save on the Mountain King. Ente is having a little bit of issue keeping his Death Knight alive here, but really going in Ente's favor overall. But the important thing to notice is that Ente actually has a 60 food lock here because of that expansion going down, so he is not going to be in great shape even if he wins this fight. Brainman losing a lot of food right now, though. Does get revive going on, but Really, this is a bad fight for Brain Man. He lost a lot more units than he would like. Down goes the Archmage. Very nice play from Ente. So Ente does a nice job of dominating this fight, but he is going to have a lot of issues with the food lock, and he gets to pick off 4 extra tanks here. So this is the point where I come in and I see what's going on. I've actually scouted this a little bit, so proud of myself for actually learning to scout. And so Brain Man is looking weak. Brain Man has 135 gold. I've got 1,000. Ente has the most gold, but he is food locked here. I come in, very easy position for myself. Managed to charm the wrong one. Did not notice that before. That's why I couldn't find it later on. In come the hippos, though. Down goes that lich. Nope. Yep, down goes the lich. So I get a very easy walk into here. I managed to get my panda split off. So I'm in a very good position here, mostly because of I got one lucky timed shot on him. Down goes the Dreadlord. So Ente realizes that, oh, I actually have a good amount of an army here, and I'm easily able to clean up some of the extra units here. I get some levels. I've got level 8, level 9. Ente going to go ahead and try and just get out of here. These 3 dragons are just incredibly helpful, and at this point it's going to be a question of what can I catch and what can I kill. At this point I realize I'm going to be teamed down very quickly, so I want to take Ente out as quickly as possible. Fortunately I managed to get that panda out of there, and here we go with Ente is losing a lot of units right now. He does have, I believe, 3,000 gold still. Yep, so he is not out of it. I think he's completely dead right now. Turns out that is not the case. I do get a fiend here. Very helpful to web the dragon later on. That was actually something I really wanted and was glad to get. But now we have quick little cleanup on my part. Brain Man actually is... Let's see, where is Brain Man? Brain Man is walking over to try and help Ente. He realizes that the only hope he has of winning is if they can team me down here. And quickly the tables turn. He does get his Archmage back here, which is very important because he does not actually use it for most of the fights, and both Ente and I believe he does not have the Archmage anymore. Ente also quickly pumping gargoyles. This should have been a very easy indication to me that, oh, he has a lot more gold than I think he does. I don't really notice it, though. I'm much more focused on the 3 heroes coming at me. Quickly TP out. I believe I lose my Dark Ranger, though. Yep. So this is kind of an interesting position for me. I have 2 heroes here, though. They aren't exactly the world's best heroes to defend my base with. I really need that Dark Ranger in order to silence heroes and kill anything. Otherwise, I'm just going to very quickly lose everything and anything I have. Ente quickly reviving his heroes. He has a lot more gold than I think he does. I believe a lot more than Brain Man does. Yep, Brain Man saying, how do you have so much gold? And Ente has managed to revive both his heroes and get 12 gargoyles, so he's in good shape. We do have a little bit of a hidden army going on back here. We have Brain Man is trying to play weak, and he's doing a nice job of it. I did not realize he has either that green dragon or the Archmage at this point. I don't believe Ente does as well. Ente coming in to hit me. And here we go. I believe that my Dark Ranger is about halfway out, so Brain Man urging Ente to come in and fight before my Dark Ranger comes back. He is currently reviving all his heroes, though, something that neither of us realizes he can do. And it's going to be a very close base race here, most likely. Ente is a little bit careless leaving the Death Knight there. It gives me an opportunity to push, something I definitely want to do, but I see that Brain Man is coming in here. I don't want to mess with that. Not really sure. Let's see. Where did Brain Man go? Okay, so Brain Man is currently running gold here. A very smart strategy. And meanwhile, I'm about to get my Dark Ranger back, and then we're going to have a nice little 2v1 in my base with my army versus both of theirs and see if we can. Here's where Tree of Lives really come in handy. I managed to buy a good amount of time just by having these here, and I also am able to go ahead and just kind of pick off some Gargs The Naga did play a little bit of an important role here with Forked Lightning. However, as you can see, they really want to go ahead and kill that Naga because of the Forked Lightning, and it's such an easy target to kill. AMS Shield helps out there. Quickly managed to pop it just in time to prevent that death coil. My hippos get in front of my army. I really want to kill this dragon, however, I get a little too eager. I see a bunch of gargoyles here. They're quickly going to nuke everything down here. Gargoyles pick them off 1, 2, 3. Not a good move on my part. Really couldn't afford to lose all those. Do have a good line on this paladin. If I can get a silence off, I'm in good shape to kill it, but don't manage to, and I back off here. I really want to fight in my base. I don't want to be drawn out, and they want me to be drawn out. They do not want me fighting in my base because I have all those moon wells. Coming nighttime, and very nice combo nuke here for me. Quickly take off 4 gargoyles here, and Ente is in a little bit of trouble with the gargoyles. They're not the greatest last army. They are helpful for killing off the dragons. However, when it's this late, it's very easy for any of our units to kill those gargoyles. Probably would have been better off stacking his heroes or doing something else. It also showed he had gold, so it might have been better to save it for reviving later on. Brainman doing a nice job of slowly but surely getting a little bit more gold. He already has his Archmage back. We don't realize that. And he's brought his dragon in here, so it looks like they're both going all in against me. That's my thought anyway. I quickly web a fiend here, or web a gargoyle. I believe I'm in pretty good shape. The Lich is looking pretty low here. Easy to nuke, and yep, so just a little bit of cat and mouse, going back and back. Brainman is maintaining a distance from Ente, but they are going to go ahead and start hitting together. Interestingly enough, Brainman does bring the Spellbreaker in, which is very easy for me to charm, and I believe I go ahead and do so. Ente is trying to bait me with all these gargoyles. I do get my army split up a little bit here. Not the best move on my part. I need to be careful. There we go. I do get the Naga out of there. Very important. But down goes that Fiend, which I really could have used. Down goes the Sorceress as well. I probably shouldn't have brought those into the fight. Not a very smart move on my part. Lich is looking very low here, though. We got silence on both of them. If I can get off one more good hit on both of them, then that Lich will go down. However, I believe the silence is going to break off the Death Knight in time. It does indeed. I'm just carelessly leaving hippos around here. Do take out a gargoyle, but not my best move ever. Really, looks like Brainman managed to pick off one of the gargoyles there. So Ente down to 2 gargoyles. As I said, they aren't the most helpful things ever. I do have 3 dragons, which is very important here. They're very hard to kill, and with my staffs, they're pretty much impossible to kill, honestly, because they are magic immune. Good staff on the Chim, get that out of there. So, still in my base, I'm running out of moonwells, but I'm not out of them. I'm feeling like I'm in pretty good position. I believe they both think I'm in pretty good position as well. They are trying to nuke the panda down, but it's much harder to do. I do use charm on that breaker, get it back here, and really at this point my goal is to kill off heroes. Silence is my best friend here. It makes life a lot easier, but the human heroes are much harder to kill because of the paladins and vulnerability. So right now I'm just trying to take something down. I believe I'm going to go ahead and get the Lich here with a Forked Lightning, but possibly not. Do get both of my heroes away. My other main priority is don't let my heroes die like an idiot. I have a tendency to do that. Very close fight here. All the units I charm are very quickly getting blown away. I'm quickly losing food. I'm down to 55 food. Really focusing on getting heroes out of the way here, and possibly focusing a little bit too much on that. I'm losing anything that isn't a dragon or a hero because those are so easy to staff. The Infernal doing a nice job of tanking the damage from the Tree of Life, although as I say that, the Lich starts tanking it. So really at an impasse right now. I need to kill a hero, but I've not had any luck doing so, and it's all about getting that perfect silence off and managing to slow one down long enough. The advantage does go to Brainman and durability for his heroes. But between the Avatar and the invulnerability, it's almost impossible to kill human heroes. This is where Ente gets a call from his girlfriend and apparently is cursed out for not paying enough attention to her and paying too much attention to Warcraft. So just going around a little bit, I've got 300 gold, 48 food. Ente has 200, 300 gold, 19 food, so he's almost certainly out of it. Brainman has 34 food and 350 gold. Neither of us realizes he has nearly this much food. He's just kind of running around. He has this extra green dragon here, which is really going to prove to be crucial later on. You never can have too many dragons. I mean, that's going to be my new motto, I think. So go ahead and speed it back up a little bit. And at this point, I'm pretty convinced that Brainman has 1,000 extra gold and is going to come back and kill me. Things seem to be going too well for me, and when something's going too well for me, I usually end up losing it somehow to some type of manip that I didn't see. So I go ahead, charm a gargoyle here, do manage to staff it out. Doesn't do me a whole lot of good since it's still a gargoyle, but at least it's something they don't have. At this point, I'm just slowly but surely losing stuff. Interestingly enough, Ente does not use Death and Decay. That would have been a very good chance for him to go ahead and take out some of my buildings, especially these moon wells. They're clumped together and would be very vulnerable to that. I'm not sure if he didn't think about it or didn't want to risk putting the Lich in range or what the deal was, but probably a bit of a mistake on his part. Just some more back and forth chasing. We do have the Brainman starts running towards the mercenary camp, which is something that I was very eager to take advantage of. However, does manage to get the invulnerability on the paladin. I quickly managed to split my panda up here. Going to prove to be very helpful, mostly in the fact that it didn't die, but also because of cyclone and vulnerability, all that stuff. Dark Ranger's looking very close to dying. I quickly staff it out. And then I think I have a good shot at the Mountain King, but I don't. Look, and have to TP out here. I do manage to hit that Death Knight, and I also get the Dreadlord at the very end here, so that was a very lucky play on my part. I certainly like to claim credit for it, however, there was a significant amount of luck in it. So at this point, I'm feeling like I'm definitely in control here. I think I've got a good chance of winning here. I'm going to go ahead and move this on to my perspective, just because I think it'll play out a little more interestingly this way. So I know where Ente's base is. It's been revealed. He does not have a main. I know that we've got Brainman with a little bit harder, but Ente is missing 2 heroes. He just has his Lich left. And I know that Brainman only has his Mountain King and Paladin and a Dragon. So I'm all ready to go ahead and go into Ente's base. I want to try and take out as many buildings as I can. Hopefully just kill off all the buildings and take him completely out of the game for the 1v1 against Brainman. And then that will be a pretty easy game over for me from there. So I move back in here, getting ready. As I've said before, the dragons really are the best thing I've got going on right now. Even somebody with as poor micro as me can pretty much make sure they live forever. Got 997. Naga's turning out to be somewhat helpful, though not the most super helpful thing ever. And here's that Lich. Wanted to go down, get it to go down, quickly silence it. Heroes in great position, down it goes, and now good chance to go ahead and knock off Brainman's heroes. Staff out. Panda is going to go ahead and use its staff. There we go. So nice job on my part, if I do say so myself. Down goes the altar, and Ente is effectively out of the game. His units are not killed completely, however, he does not have much chance now. He does not have enough gold to rebuild, I don't believe. And it turns out that I am correct in this aspect. And just managed to get that Chim staffed off, save it from the bolt. Feeling pretty proud of myself right now. Gonna go ahead and get all my units back up and move on to Brainman. Human heroes are hard to kill, however, 2 heroes and a dragon versus my 3 dragons and 3 heroes. I'm pretty good shape here. Just kind of typical little wrap up, and I'm gonna go ahead and haul him, just in case he has a TP, because I believe his paladin did have a teleportation scroll on it. Get in the way, make sure if he has any gold, I can go ahead and kill all that stuff off. Got some tornado usage going on. Managed to kill pretty much everything here. Get the base down and in good position. So pretty much just wrapping everything up here. Nice game all around, if I do say so myself. Ente is currently just waiting to be base killed. Brainman is effectively out of it. I'm not sure where his heroes are, but one step. Oh, here we go, and I just find out he has an Archmage. I quickly glanced away for a second. Down goes my Dark Ranger, and I'm effectively out of the game. Naga Sea Witch is going down in a moment. Do staff it out, but Panda is quickly stunned, and I tried to go ahead and use its ultimate, but don't get it off. Find out that he has an Archmage, 2 heroes, and 2 dragons while I am out of gold. So I glance away for 2 seconds while I'm killing it, and bam, I am effectively out of the game. I don't believe that I would have been able to take him with the Archmage. I mean, he is effectively indestructible heroes, but I certainly am not able to take him when I lose my Dark Ranger instantaneously like that. So what looks like a cleanup win for me quickly goes from being a cleanup win to a catastrophe. Ente is out of the game. He has nothing left. And Brainman has pulled off a nice come-from-behind victory here, despite getting 2v1 for most of the game, and really did a nice job of hiding that Archmage. I would have been a lot more worried about him had I known he had it. And he does a nice job of hiding one of the dragons as well, which I thought I'd killed earlier. I think I might have killed one and got another, but really just a nice job by Brainman coming back. Naga gets stunned. Naga's going to go down. Dragons are pretty much never going to die, even against other dragons. I'm out of heroes. That's a good game for me, and Ente quickly calls it a wrap after this because of the fact that he doesn't have anything. So overall, a very nice game in my opinion. Some things I took away from it: never trust a human. I think that Brainman did a great job of hiding. A lot of the time, hiding units can come back to bite you in the ass because you die with half the army and then the other half of the army dies. But Brainman did it very effectively. Hiding that dragon was a masterpiece. Hiding the Archmage was sensible. I probably should have hid some of my units too. I lost a lot of units that I shouldn't have. For instance, my mortar, my spellbreakers, and the sorcerers that I stole. None of those should have died. And also, I really underestimated gold. Looking through here, gold mine, 53,000 for Brainman, 41,000 for myself. I thought I had a massive gold advantage. I did lose very little gold upkeep compared to everybody else. I only lost 3,500, so I do think I did a nice job of staying at 15, flying under the radar. 17 hero kills, 4 hero kills, 8 hero kills. Both Ente Brainman did a great job. It was a very fun game, and I hope you all enjoyed it as well. It's a little bit hard casting a game that you played in yourself and know what's going on, but that's what I had to do, so hope you enjoyed it. This is Mage, signing out, and so long.